Welcome everybody to Everything Black. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope everything is going your way. But today I want to come on, turn my music down a little bit, and talk about Lieutenant Capitol Police Michael Byrd, my hero. Um, I just want to say that when black people take a job, what we call a serious job, we usually try to be the best at it. We usually try to do better than the other folks because we all know they really us there. As you can tell in America's history, working on their jobs, they don't want us there, especially if they're paying halfway decent. We have to fight for every damn hour, every damn minute, and then we have to look around and hell, they ready to fire us, you know, when we're trying to do a decent job. Um, we're just there to, use this little resources that they give us to feed our entire family. You know, I raised, I was married young, and we raised 6 kids. And man, I tell you, that was the hardest times of our lives, especially me, young dude trying to take care of a wife and 6 kids. All the kids were mine. No, we didn't have any outside kids. Um, but I just wanted to take time out of my day to recognize a hero to me, and I hope he's a hero to you. On January the 6th, you heard about all these people breaking into the Capitol and in Washington D.C. and trying to take over. Well, all that worked until one gunshot. Um, then they got their ass on the ground and turned around. Just one gunshot. Think about that. Just one black man stood his ground, took care of whatever he needed to take care of that day. Now, you will hear probably on other channels or other races talking about he's a murderer. I think Trump said that. President Trump said that. You know, I mean, everybody got their choices, and Trump is just another person on the planet who got his opinion. In my opinion, the man, and not only my opinion, but the court opinion, that the man did a righteous job. The man did the right thing. He took care of the people in Congress, and also I might not show it on this video, but he helped all those people, he kept them alive, all those senators and House representatives. He was the only man between them and that crowd. Now it was other cops, but to me, they was cowards. They was bagging up while everybody was breaking into the Capitol. They was just letting them come on in. Even there was so-called FBI undercovers or FBI people there or federal police or whatever was there with them. They all allowed these people to come through. Because you know why? Most of them was white and they were scared. They were scared to handle business. But thank God for this one brother, Michael Byrd. He said, hell no, I'm doing my job today. Now, they're going to say that Michael Byrd was a terrible, reckless police officer. They always try to dog us. Once we do something heroic, they try to find something wrong. Either way it go, whether he was a bad guy or good guy, on that day he was a hero. And I just want to take time my day to say thank you, Mr. Lieutenant Capitol Police Micheal Byrd. I'm taking time out of my day, and I hope you take time out of your day. I hope you watch and like this video and say, hey, yeah, we with you. We want to thank Micheal Byrd. And I'm finna show a little bit of Micheal, my hero. Fair use YouTube, Facebook, and whoever else. This is educational purposes only. And I just want to introduce the world. If y'all don't know this guy, y'all might need to know this guy. Let me see if I got him on the screen already. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I got it. Okay. And I just wanted to share the screen with y'all and let this man talk out of his own words. I will be stopping it here for a few minutes to interrupt and say what I think about what he said. But overall, I'm going to let him talk. I'm going to let this interview play. And I hope that you guys take this interview and educate other people that don't know about this guy and give your opinion. You know, all of us need to give our honest opinion on what we see on this planet. You know, sometimes we might be wrong about what we say, but if we saying it in truth and then we get corrected later, we can get corrected. Okay. If I say anything wrong about this video, correct me. Somebody send something to me, hit me up, you know, and say, hey man, you was wrong about that. And if I feel like I was wrong, I mean, if the truth is the truth, you know. So here we go. Let me let you talk in his own words, Mr. Micheal Byrd. Go back.
Name has been battered about on the internet, but you've never been officially publicly identified. Do you want to tell us who you are?
My name is Micheal Byrd. I'm a lieutenant for the United States Capitol Police. And on January the 6th, I was the commander for the House Chamber Section in charge of the security for the United States House of Representatives.
Typically, when an officer is involved in a high-profile shooting, that officer is identified publicly. Why wasn't your name identified?
I believe it was because of the threats, the vile threats and conversations and chatter that's been expressed about me and my actions.
Threats against your life?
That is correct.
Could you give us the nature of some of those threats?
They talked about, you know, killing me, cutting off my head, you know, very vicious and cruel things.
Racist things?
There were some racist attacks as well.
Okay, hold up for a minute. Let me say something.
Of course,
right
it's
here.
all disheartening.
Why did the interviewer, I can't think of his name right now, but he's a well-known guy on NBC. Why did he throw in the racism? Now, if Mr. Byrd wanted to say racist things that was said about me, Mr. Byrd would have said it. But for some reason, he had to say racist things, and then he looked as if he was kind of laughing. I don't know if y'all caught that or not. Let me rewind that. Now, check out
Threats, the vile threats and conversations and chatter that's been expressed about me and my actions.
Threats against your life?
That is correct.
Could you give us the nature of some of those threats?
They
watch this.
Talked about, you know, killing me, cutting off my head, you know, very vicious and cruel things.
Racist things?
There were some racist attacks as well.
Let's go back.
The vile threats and conversations and chatter that's been expressed about me and my actions.
Threats against your life?
That is correct.
Could you give us the nature of some of those threats?
They asked for the nature.
Talked about,
Fair use,
killing me, cutting off my head, very vicious and cruel things.
Racist things?
Now look at his face. Racist things? Why did he say that? Why did he say that? Why did he say racist things? Now, if Mr. Byrd wanted, again, if he wanted us to know, he would have said it. Why did he throw that in there? And then look at his face. White people were sitting back going, the dominant society, I'm gonna say that. They were sitting back going, yeah, I know he gonna bring up the racist thing, race baiting. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it would have came out of Mr. Byrd mouth, I would have just went with it. But it came out of the interviewer's mouth, which made me think that he's trying to either throw the case off or he's trying to start up something. And I know he ain't genuinely concerned about what this guy is saying. Because if he were, he would just let him talk. Let him say how he felt about it. If he had something racist to say about the things that people were saying, he would have said racist things. So that concerned me, that part right there. Why did he throw that in there? So let's continue.
There were some racist attacks as well. Of course, it's all disheartening because I know I was doing my job.
We're going to talk about the events of January 6th in a moment, but this is something I don't normally ask people that I interview, but in your case, I've got to ask you. Why do you want to tell your story? Why do you want to be public now?
Wait a minute. Before he answers, I want to say, why did he ask that question when he normally don't do that? See, we got to watch stuff like this. We got to control the narrative. This guy seemed to be kind of controlling what the interviewer is about to say. Maybe people were like wondering, why did he want to come out now? Well, the man it was a lot of lies being told on this guy about his history. I was going to play a video on that of the dominant society saying, some of the white YouTubers saying things about this guy, but I said, no, I ain't gonna even put what they saying because that'll put that'll help them, I just wanted y'all to hear his words and why I think he was a hero. But I'm just wondering about this interviewer guy, why is he leading this guy to say things that he really don't need to say? He's coming out and coming on letting you interview him because he think you have some kind of integrity. And he's trying to tell the truth because even them damn Democrats was lying on this man or wouldn't even testify for this man, and he helped them. He took cover for them. He protected them in a violent moment in history. But yet, for some reason, this guy keeps saying racist. He mentioned racism, the racist stuff they said to him. And now he's asking him, why are you coming out at this last moment? Well, the man know all the lies. He's just trying to Do what R. Kelly did in that interview, which I think R. Kelly got emotional and lost it. This man here was getting emotional, but he didn't lose it. Okay? So let's finish.
Well, I would have liked to have come forth earlier, but there's a process, investigative process that must play out. I was cleared by the DOJ and FBI and Metropolitan Police, and then the process can't start until that process is completed for U.S. Capitol Police to do their internal administrative investigation.
But given the nature of the threats that you described, do you have any concern about showing your face and identifying yourself?
Of course I do.
You see, he stuttered when asking this next question, but it's like he's trying to lead this guy away from the truth. I mean, it seems kind of odd to me. I don't know about y'all, but it really seems kind of odd that this guy would keep when somebody stutter like that. But okay, here comes something here. This is very interesting. Let me finish up.
That is a very vital point, and it's something that is frightening. Again, I believe I showed the utmost courage on January 6th, and it's time for me to do that now. There's a lot of things that have been reported that are inaccurate and misrepresentations of my actions on January the 6th.
You've got a lot built up that you want to talk about.
I do.
Well, let's start with that day, January 6th. What were your expectations as you headed to work that day?
It was the expectations after we planned. We spent a week before going through our threat analysis and planning and making sure officers are aware of their assignments and their comfortability with what they were asked to do for that day. Joint session of Congress in accordance with a demonstration on the outside. I was solely responsible for the joint session and the members of Congress because that was taking place in my area of responsibility. So it was pretty much a normal event as far as I was concerned. We did not get specific intel that would require us to change or adjust our posture. So at that point, it just felt like it was, a routine event that I've done over the last 28 years of my career.
How many people were you in charge of? How many other officers?
On that day, I had about a third of what is assigned to my my unit as a result of COVID, as a result of additional manpower needed to work the demonstration.
So you were going in shorthanded?
That is correct.
From the start of the day. Did that give you any concerns about what might come?
Always. I felt, again, because there was no intel indicating that the requirement for more people would be necessary, I was comfortable and made sure that my team was well informed and prepared to handle the routine event, which is a joint session, which occurs on Capitol Hill all the time.
So your job on that particular morning was you were in charge of the security of these members of Congress?
That is correct.
And the area that we see you in ultimately, when the shooting takes place, could you describe where that is in relation to the House chambers?
It is essentially a part of the chamber. It's steps, literally short steps away from the actual chamber itself to my area of responsibility.
Before we see your arm and see you now in that area where people are trying to come through the door, had you talked to members of Congress and briefed them on the situation?
Exactly. One of the things in preparation prior to them breaching the rioters breaching the Capitol building. It is my responsibility to inform the members of Congress, the Sergeant at Arms, and the members of Congress that the protests had escalated into a riot and that officers were being assaulted. They were attempting to breach the building. They've been using chemical agents outside. There were pipe bombs found, weapons discovered and confiscated. They were using weapons on members of the law enforcement community.
So you're briefing members of Congress on what you know.
That's correct, as this stuff is being reported to me over the radio.
What did you tell them in a way that they could be safe?
One of the things is part of our training and the exercises we conduct. I informed the members that they need to gather their gas masks, which we have in a specific location on the floor, and instructed them at that time to be prepared, how to use it and to be prepared to don the mask in the event that the threat escalates closer to the House chamber.
Did you at some point give them tips on how they might blend in?
One of the things that was imperative as the breach had entered the Capitol building was to inform the members to remove their pens to allow them to blend in somewhat. We asked them to remove their pens.
Members of Congress carry a pin on their lapel.
They have a pin that identifies who they are. That's part of the security initiative that allows them access throughout the building. And so I'd asked them to remove their pins, to remove their jackets, to look like staff as much as possible, and to seek shelter by staying down below their chairs.
You're following your training and protocol, but inside, is there part of you that's screaming that I can't believe this is happening?
Of course, it was a surreal event. Again, I have to rely on my training, and I spent over 20 years on the chamber section alone, and every exercise, has prepared me for that day. And every policy that I helped, write the policy, or had some input. I don't want to say help write it, but had some input because of my longevity in that position, putting up a makeshift barricade, using furniture, opens up through the doorway.
Those are your guys?
Those are part of the U.S. Capitol Police. They're not specifically my guys. I believe I had 2, but the rest were dignitary protection agents.
So again, when you're at this door, it's hard to see what's on the other side, but you're
it's
hearing
impossible for me to see what's on the other side because we had created such a barricade and it was high enough that the visibility was impossible.
You don't see windows shattering.
Until they start breaking it down. It was also my understanding that there were officers.
Sorry about that.
I later found out there were officers on the other side of the door that had moved out of the way. I had no knowledge that those officers was there. I had no visual or communication with them.
At this point, the radio is not
helpful. Hold on,
there was no call over the radio.
Now, he said that there was other officers on the other side of the door. Now, and from what I said in later reports, that there was also other police officers there. Now, I don't know if they was police officers, but they was Capitol workers, protectors, supposedly dignitaries there. Also with the officers. And all they kept doing was bagging up. You saw all through, I don't know if y'all watched the whole video, but if you do watch it, you'll see how they are just bagging up, letting the people do what the hell they want to do. And they started telling them to stand down, stop, and they keep ignoring orders. They did that throughout the whole building. If y'all go back and watch the videos. This is my hero, so I'm just showing you my hero part, Now, there's other parts to this. I'm just showing you my hero.
Explaining to me that these officers were there. I don't believe they tried to dispatch or inform anyone that they were present.
So when the crowd begins to try to work its way through the door, which we've
And I
seen
also
on
remember
video,
some of those officers probably
you feel like you're running out of options.
I'm just
We were already
my
limited
opinion.
in the
I don't
options
know
that
if
we
it's
had.
true or not.
Once we barricaded the doors,
It
we were
seemed like
essentially
some
trapped
of them might
where
have
we
been
were. There was no way to retreat, no other way to get out, because we did both sides of that quarter. So you're essentially trapped. And all of the training and policies that we have in place.
So they was basically trapped.
Ended the same way in the 20
Weird.
years that I've been inside the House chamber as an officer. You rely on our CERT, which is, our containment team. And if they don't make it there to stop the threat, you're the last line of defense. And it's up to you to take the appropriate action.
Now remember, he was the last line.
And that's where you found yourself.
And that's where I found myself. Once I completed putting up the barricade, at that point is when I realized they're here. The chants got louder. I couldn't make out what they were saying, but it sounded like hundreds of people outside of that door. And then once they started knocking down all of the barricades and crashing through the doors and windows of the East Lobby, I knew at that point, I'm yelling, I'm screaming. My throat was hurting for a few days afterwards. I didn't even realize I had been yelling and screaming as loud as I was. Please stop, get back, stop. Of course, we had our weapons drawn. It's part of our training. You had shots fired onto the house floor.
No, I didn't see those other.
You're trained to take a tactical defensive position and, prepare for the threat.
In your long career, have you ever withdrawn your weapon against a potential threat?
There is a time, but I've never discharged my weapon in the course of that action. But there has been times when we had to draw a weapon.
The lawyer for the Babbitt family says that you didn't warn, you didn't offer a warning. What were you saying as you held the gun?
Get back, stop, get back.
Was a warning.
No, stop, get back, repeatedly screaming. And I know it was difficult for anyone to see me verbally speaking because we were wearing the masks because of COVID, but he wasn't there. I was there. Right. I know what I was doing.
Right. And it's possible the people on the other side of the door couldn't hear you either.
It is possible. I later found out through a video, that one of the protesters actually yelled to all of the participants that was there, trying to break in. They've got their guns drawn. Back up. Wait a minute, So I can't speak what they heard. I know what I was doing. I was following my policy. I was given as much warning as I possibly could. I was yelling literally at the top of I think I hurt my throat. They talked.
Man, I knocked the spot back, but I just want to say this. If you watch the video on January 6th, the protester the rioters did yell to the other members, hey, he got a gun, bag up, hold up. He was telling them to hold up, back up, chill out, he got a gun. But that one protester who got shot, or a rioter, at this point they was rioters, she jumps up there, jumped through the little hole in the door there, and tried to pass through. And one shot, boom. I'll let him talk about that. Now, the interviewers seem to try to throw this guy off. I don't know why, but y'all just watch, see what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get to that part.
Did you know who you shot?
I had no clue. I didn't even know it was a female until hours way later, sometime later on that night, before I even found out that it was a female. And, you know, because the call of shots fired had went out, you know, it was later I, you know, found out that the subject did not have a weapon, but there was no way to know that at that time.
It doesn't matter.
And I could not fully see her hands
to obey command.
or what was in the backpack or what the intentions of. But they had shown.
Let me say this. I have been a correction officer, right? When you tell somebody, you give them an order, you say, hey, step back, stop, don't do that. Whatever you say after that, don't approach, and they keep approaching, you can, at that point, use whatever necessary to stop the threat. Now, this dude had hundreds of people coming at him. Hell, he don't know what their intentions was. Okay? They beat a few officers after, you know, according to what I understand. So he was the last line of defense. Now, they had already got all the way into the last line of defense. He had to defend himself. He had to stand up. Now, like I say, all those other officers, I don't know what the hell they was doing. The only word you can call them is cowards. This was the only man that stood up that day, and when he fired that shot, everything stopped. All the bullshit got cut short. You know, if you're a real mother, getting shot or no, somebody gets shot or not, if you're gonna break in and do something, you're gonna do it then. But like I said, when the shot got fired, all the bullshit got real. Everything stopped. So you gotta say, this is the hero. This man saved thousands of lives that day.
Violence leading up to that point.
And I have to ask you, I mean, based on your training, in that case, does it matter that the person was armed or not?
No.
According to law, it does not. And I would let my lawyer speak on that, or the United States Capitol Police General Counsel further elaborate on that.
Yeah.
I know based on my training and my policy, what I did was appropriate.
Right.
Let me ask you this. After you fired, did the threat appear to cease?
It did.
Hell yeah, it did.
No one else attempted to enter
That's
into
right.
that hall.
After the shooting.
Look, we got to emphasize on that. Believe me, when you put that power tool on somebody, or some bodies, their ass gonna either come with it or they gonna take their ass home. They gonna lay it down and shut it down. The power tool don't play. And you can talk all you want, but when you put that power tool on somebody, oh, the shit get real. Okay? The shit got real that day. And after he shot that, when he fired that shot, oh, shit shut down. All that old rioting and acting back and talking about whooping ass, all this old bullshit they were doing. Oh, the shit got real then. See, when you pull that power tool out and you fired, oh yeah. Everything got quiet, let's put it that way. They went their ass home. Or they went to jail. So you know the story after that, okay? This is my hero. Capitol Police Lieutenant Capitol Police Micheal Byrd did his thing in history. He's in history now. He shut the shit down. Now, white folks don't want this to be the hero. The society don't want this to be the hero. But like I say, when we black people, when we foundation black Americans, freedmen, children of freedmen, man, when we stick together, when we hook up, that's why I'm so intimate about these single mom things, man. We got to stop that. If you don't want to be with this guy and create this family, and you have a child with this man, you stuck. This is sealed. You need to be real, and you need to go ahead and raise that family and stick with that family and stick behind that man and get this man whatever intention he got for this life. He needs to get to it, and you need to be behind him getting to it. Every black man should have in his mind to build a nation of good black people, not good black people, excellent black people. We are great together. I mean, look at what they're doing in Africa, man. All those people are separate. Look at all the other diaspora, all these other immigrants, man. They separate. That's why they can't get shit done. The only reason white people got shit done because we were together on what we were doing to try to fix this thing in a bad situation. Every black man got a bad situation story, man. Every foundational black man that got it from the mud, we got a story. We got a great story to tell. We just got to get together on it. And I'm not talking about get together every day. I'm talking about have a code where we know, okay, this is the code. If they do this, okay, we gonna do that. If they don't give us this, we gonna do this. If they don't give us this, we gonna do this, and we gonna get that. It's just some rules that we follow, codes. Codes is something that works. If you don't understand code, go listen to Neely Fuller Jr. He will give you the codes. Like I say, this is a hero, and this interview is studied trying to throw this guy out for some reason. I'm hoping that they talk about what happened through the trial. So let's get on through this story.
I assume your attention is also thinking about these members of Congress.
I immediately reverted back to trying to get the members of Congress out of the area and to a safe location.
We're given some time then after the shooting to be able to do that.
Not much time. I immediately, again, I wasn't the one that stayed with the subject. Again, at that point in time, my responsibility is the safety of the members of Congress. And
right.
I immediately went to try to provide a safe route for an evacuation for the members of Congress and advising them which way to go and how to proceed. We had a few members that are, I don't want to say disabled or have,
disabilities,
limitations as far as being able to run or move fast. And some of those individuals were directly in the lobby with me at the time of the incident.
As you likely know, there have been some who have elevated Ashley Babbitt to the status of a martyr. I'm curious how you react to that.
I have no reaction to that. I know on that day, there was a lot of people injured and several people died. And my heart goes out to everyone involved on that day that got injured or passed away.
What should we make of the fact that there were other officers in other potentially life-threatening situations who didn't use their service weapons that day?
I'm sure it was a terrifying situation.
So again, he goes back and he asks this guy, what about the other officers? You know, why didn't they use their gun? Well, it don't matter what the other officers did, man. When we got to this man, he stood his ground. He did his job. Now, we can't say that about the other guys, you know. When you know, only thing you say about them is the only word that comes to mind is cowards. That's the only word you can use. If they got to the point where he had to draw his gun and shoot and do his job, you came down to the hero. Everything else before that was just cowardness. Now, I don't know what y'all call those people who just bag up all the way up to the last door. I think it's in the book 48 Hours of Laws, 48 Hours of Power, or something like that. It's a book, 48 Laws of Power. I think that's the name of the book. And in that book, it talks about you should leave your enemies an out, right? When you get somebody backed up and they ain't got no way out, and believe me, if they got a power tool and they're not cowards, they're going to use it on you. A coward would use it on himself. But a hero will use the last goddamn bullet on you. Because he's defending himself. Black people, there's a difference between defending yourself and attacking somebody. The dominant society, the white supremacists, they attack innocent people. They attack weak people. It's 5 or 6 of them against one. Sometimes it's hundreds of them against one person. And those are cowards. This man stood his ground by himself. Basically, he said he had 2 officers on the other side of the door. They didn't do nothing. They didn't pull their gun. If they pulled their gun, they didn't use it. And I think the Black Panther said, if you got a gun, you pull it and you don't lose it, you're going to lose your life. I mean, that's what they basically saying. You're a coward. You should kill yourself. You got to defend yourself. You cannot let people run over you. And believe me, if you got a power tool and you don't use it, you pull it and don't use it. I think Tupac talked about that in an interview. Come on, people. This is my hero. This should be America's hero. He saved a lot of people's lives that day. That's according to Congress. That's according to the courts.
And I can only control my reaction, my training, my level of expertise. I cannot speak why they would not, or why they would have or should have. That would be upon them to speak for themselves.
Former President Trump has talked about you and this incident. He says she was murdered. What does it feel like to hear that from a former president?
Well, it's disheartening, but the only other thing I like to say to that,
I mean, there he goes again, asking us a question that has nothing to do with anything. Y'all know Trump gonna say a whole bunch of bullshit, man. That's what he is, a lot of bullshit. But who cares what President Trump think? When you defending yourself, who cares what anybody think? When you're doing your job, when you defending yourself, you standing up for something. You standing up on business. You standing on business. 10 toes down. He didn't run. He didn't flee. See, Foundation Black Americans don't flee. We don't run. We stand. And we standing in this racist society. He's standing up for people who don't really give a damn about him. Black people, we do that shit all the time. We stand up for people who don't give a damn about us. Especially black men, we do that shit all the time. We have families, we do everything for our family. We give our lives for our family. But they don't really recognize us until we dead. And if they do it at that time, man, that's heartbreaking for most men. Especially men that do the right thing. You know, men that do the right thing are men anyway. I shouldn't even say that. We are men. Men who look and try to add more resources, as much resources as he can get. A man who never think about retiring. A man who never stop. A man who goes looking for problems to fix. As men, we should be like, what a problem at? This one big problem we have is racism, white supremacy. This is our one big problem. And all of us black men should stand for something and die for this shit. We got to get rid of it. All of our lives could change if they would pay us reparations. Money that they owe. We could start black businesses. We can start pretty much a black nation with the finances that they owe us. We would go straight to the heavens with our abilities. You will no longer be on the bottom of everybody's shit.
I spent countless hours, days, months doing threat analysis, doing evaluations, attending briefings, walkthroughs, escorts, coordinating with Secret Service that protects the president. There's pictures of me that have circulated that my wife was receiving during joint sessions and State of the Unions or when he was present. And I'm right there behind him. And I've escorted him on numerous occasions when he's visited the Capitol. And if he was in the room or anywhere and I'm responsible for him, I was prepared to do the same thing for him and his family.
Would you have his back today if you were so assigned?
I sure would, because it's my job.
Thank you.
And he's a leader of the United States, and he deserves the same protection as the members of Congress, the current president, the Speaker of the House, you as a staffer, if you was in there, or a reporter. My job is to provide the safety and security for all of you.
Member of Congress described you as lying in wait. The attorney for the Babbitt family says that you ambushed her. What is it like to hear those accusations, and how do you respond?
Again, those things are disheartening, but
Now, did y'all hear that? He said that members of Congress lied on this man. Not only the lady's family, but members of Congress. These are the people he was protecting. You see what I'm saying? These are people who he was giving his life to protect. And when it came to court time, they flipped on him. They flipped on my brother. You see, this is why he's a hero. He stood up against all the bullshit and shut the bullshit down. This is what black men are here for, ladies. All y'all separating from us and doing y'all thing and saying all kind of bad things about black men. Now I mean, hey, all of us ain't perfect, but everything has its place. When you separate from your man, from your protector, oh man, you setting yourself up for failure, ladies. There's always a man that's putting his life on the line for the family, for the world. Look at Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Numerous of guys, men, put their lives on the line, their family lives on the line, so we could, God dog it, have a little taste of freedom, man. And that shit still ain't happened yet. It's 2025, still ain't happened yet. Come on, black people, let's wake up, man. FBAs, we waking up. It's like they done woke up a sleeping giant. Please, let's keep the movement going. Let's keep the bloodline going. We need our money. All our children run across their children and end up losing their minds. You know what I'm saying? We're in an insane society. Of course we're gonna lose our mind. Of course we insane. If we still living in this thing where we can't be free, where we can't start a business. We can start a business, but goddamn, look at all the shit they be hitting us with when we do start our business. We got to be resilient, which we got to be excellent. Either way it go, we got to be at the top of our game, because one little slip, they got us. So I mean, we going through a lot of bullshit the average person don't go through. That's all I'm saying. That's why I believe we're gods. And when we wake up, man, let's get back to this.
Without having full information of what I was experiencing, what I had heard on the radio, the accounts leading up to, the incident, I can understand why they would say that, but I have to say again, I did my training to the best of my ability. The information that was provided to me, I tried to protect members and keep them out of harm's way as best I could. When they announce shots fired, it's appropriate to take a tactical defensive stance and posture to protect myself. If I'm standing directly in front of the doorway, I could have been shot myself, possibly.
A few years ago, you were investigated for leaving your service weapon in a bathroom. Yes. And that's been brought up by those who are questioning your competency. Yeah. Do you want to respond to that?
Sure. It was a terrible mistake.
See, I knew this guy was going somewhere. But see, that's the first thing they say. When a black man do a excellent job, when we do our job, when we do everything to the best of our ability, they find one funky little thing or two or three funky little, whatever we did in the past does not matter to what he did for these people. He saved lives. Whether he was a fucked up dude before this, This fucked up dude stood his ground and handled business on this particular day, January 6th. You know what I'm saying? They go take Martin Luther King, they go take Malcolm X, they go take some of the greats and smear their names. Try to find one little bullshit on them and smear their names when they are heroes. When they're hidden history hero. That's from the Hidden History Museum there in California that Tariq Nasheed got. You know, this is a hero right here, and he's been hidden. Okay, this is a black hero right here. Saved a bunch of lives. That's what we do. And they trying to demonize the brother.
I acknowledged it. I owned up to it. I accepted the responsibility. I was penalized for it, and I moved on.
We discussed this at the beginning of the interview, but your name has been withheld through official channels, and that's unusual in cases where a police officer is involved in a high-profile shooting. Did you get special treatment?
Of course not. No way. The threats, the vile, angry people viciously attacking me without full knowledge of what my duties and responsibilities were for that day. You know, there's a thing called rules of engagement.
He asked him if he got special treatment. Well, I be damned. If he got special treatment. He got special treatment, all right.
My rules of engagement never changed because I was in the presence of members of Congress the entire time. You know, there are other officers who may not have fired because they were surrounded, they were enclosed, they had a place to retreat. I had none of those advantages to me. I did not see any other thing play out, you know, as everybody else did on TV. I could only rely on my radio and my training and the policies that I had in place.
You were seeing this through a pretty narrow lens, as you point out, that you weren't seeing with the rest of us. But subsequently, we've all seen these montages of what happened that day. What has it been like for you to see the video now and that really depicts what was happening on that day?
Extremely emotional. You know, it's psychologically damaging. Dealing with counselors and have been since January the 6th. There are times, you know, I can't sleep. I cry out, you know. Sometimes you can't do anything but cry. People, you know, you felt like you did your job, and you know, you help protect, you know, our legislative leaders of this country, and you fought for democracy and keeping that established. I'm proud of the job I do, and it's hurtful, but you know, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about the attacks, the threats, things like that.
Your life has been turned upside down.
Yes, it has.
You hoping to regain it?
In some form or fashion. I just know that this form of life is not appropriate. Not appropriate for somebody who risked his life, his livelihood, to save lives of people that make the laws and rules for this country. And you know, you would hope that that's enough. That man did his job.
Capitol Police.
Man, he really want to say, hey, I saved their lives and these assholes turned against me. Now, from what I understand, these people turned against him in court. Those congressmen, they was gonna get this man for murder because he killed the white lady. You know, that's a no. Black man killed the white lady and like OJ, got away with it. That's what they see. They see the OJ thing playing again. They can't stand it. They got to that's a loss for them. They got to get us back. Like I say, this is my hero. And I'm going to go ahead and let him finish speaking, then I'm going to end the program.
Police in their press release after exonerating you said your actions potentially saved members and staff from serious injury and possible death. What was it like to hear those words, to see those words?
Those words meant a lot because that's exactly what I did on that day. That was my mission. That was what I prepared for. And it's rewarding and refreshing to hear that.
What do you want us to know, particularly critics, but all of us? What do you want us to know about what it's like to take a human life?
It's always difficult. It's a decision nobody wants to be faced with in law enforcement.
Why did he do that? See, it's always on the black brother to explain when we take their lives. This man took a white life. Now he got explained to the day he died why he done that. When this lady was out of order, like they be telling us he's out of order, he didn't listen to command, she didn't listen to command. He gave command, he followed his due diligence, he did his job. This man is a hero. This man, according to your own courts, he saved lives. Give this man his props. This man is a hero.
There's unfortunate circumstances that put you in that position, and you have to have the courage, the mental fortitude to follow through with what you've been trained and prepared for. And I think I did that to the best of my ability.
As I said, your name is...
And I'm going to end the show right there. You heard what he said. He did everything to his best ability, and that's what we have to do. Foundation Black Americans, we have to do everything to our best abilities. When you lay down at night, before you lay down at night, take an account of the day. Did you do everything in your best abilities? If you didn't, you need to start. I'm trying to do everything in my best ability. I'm tired right now. And I had to do this show. I had to say thank you to this brother. I wanted him to know we didn't forget you. We haven't forgot you. We appreciate you. We salute you. Mr. Capitol Police Lieutenant Micheal Byrd. Everything Black. Thank y'all for joining. Please like and subscribe. I may do a show tomorrow night. I'm not for sure. But please come back and join me. Like and subscribe. Reach out to me. Talk to me. Leave me comments. And thank you for joining. Until we do it.